What's up, Police Sports Gaber here, and it looks like the Los Angeles Chargers owner, Spanos, finally came to his senses and fired Brandon Staley. Now everybody thinks I'm happy for this because I don't like Brandon Staley as a person. That's not the case. The Los Angeles Chargers had so much talent on this team. They've greatly underperformed under Staley. I don't know why it took so long for him to get fired. I made a video last year, I'll link it in the description, that he should have been fired at the end of last year after that monumental collapse in the playoffs. Yes, he made the playoffs with the Chargers, but this team has one of the best quarterbacks in the league, definitely top 10. Some people argue maybe close to top 5, Herbert. The guy can throw. They have good receivers between Allen. Williams, I know, gets hurt a lot, but Eckler, they have decent tight end, Gerald Everett. This offense should be one of the top offenses in the league with this lineup. And the defense is not bad either. They've assembled a huge amount of talent in this team and has underperformed in Staley's tenure. And I don't know why he lasted this long, and it's a good thing after that embarrassment on Thursday night against the Raiders. I think the Spanos has had enough and finally axed him along with the general manager. Now let's take a look at some of these statements. Why make the move to fire Staley and Telesco now? The Chargers were embarrassed, historically embarrassed. The Raiders, who led by an interim coach, Antonio Pierce, hasn't scored a touchdown since Week 12, were playing with the all-pro running back Josh Jacobs, started rookie quarterback Aiden O'Connell, and scored a franchise record 63 points on the Chargers on Thursday Night Football. This is coming from a team that lost 3-0 last week to Minnesota. 3-0. And they scored 63 points. 42-0 at halftime, coming from what Staley said is full confidence in his abilities to coach a defense. He knew that he couldn't last after this game he had last Thursday. He knew it. And it's about time, because he's not a good coach. And I think some people are surprised at the firing of the general manager. This is what led to the decision to fire the general manager. On paper, it appeared the Chargers had one of the best rosters in the NFL, which I agree, they did. That's why this team should have been so much more successful than they have. But the team was often let down by Staley's defense, which ranked near the bottom of the league each of his 3 seasons. Telesco secured top players such as outside linebacker Khalil Mack, cornerback J.C. Jackson, as well as other talented players Staley had coached previously, including defensive tackles Sebastian Joseph Day and Morgan Fox, but it never materialized. It's pretty obvious that Staley's not a good defensive coordinator, and I really don't think he should be hired by any team as a defensive coordinator. Maybe he might latch on to a team as maybe a defensive backs coach, a linebackers coach, or whatever, but there's no way anyone's going to hire him as a defensive coordinator the way he performed the last 3 years for the Chargers when they had a bunch of talent. Ultimately, Telesco's firing appears to have come down to his body of work. He was the general manager for 11 seasons, hiring 3 head coaches, and had 2 playoff wins. Telesco had a decade to make the Chargers a winner and failed. His time had simply run out. And that happens a lot to coaches and general managers around the league. At some point, it becomes almost too routine. It becomes tiring to have someone around for so long. Maybe it's good to have new blood in as a general manager. And maybe the next coach will be coach/general manager, as you'll see with the head coaching options I'm going to lay out here. Who are the potential candidates for the job long term? Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. Look at the Chargers' Week 10 loss to the Lions as case for Johnson, whose offense ran for 177 yards in the first half and ended the game with 533 yards and 5 touchdowns. Good defense by Staley, huh? With an offense that hasn't been able to run the ball under Staley, no matter coordinator, Johnson could help this team's balance. But I think Carolina Panthers are going to go full court for Ben Johnson as soon as the Detroit Lions season's over. As soon as the regular season's over, I think they're going to go after Ben Johnson big time and probably give him a ton of money to become their head coach. And if I was Ben Johnson, I probably would go to Carolina because there's nowhere but to go up. But I think the Chargers are going to go into a different direction. The next one on the list, I have a soft spot for. I'm a big 49ers fan. Harbaugh was 44-19 in 3 years as the coach of the 49ers from 2011 to 2014. He took the 49ers to the Super Bowl in 2012 2012, but has been at the University of Michigan since 2015. Harbaugh would be one of the most sought-after coaches if he decided to flirt with the NFL job again. When he was with the 49ers had a decision to make. Keep the GM or keep Jim Harbaugh. At the time, I was hoping they would keep Jim Harbaugh because I know what a good coach he is. And the fact that he is a good coach, let me just give you one name, Colin Kaepernick. He turned Colin Kaepernick into a star. Brought them to the Super Bowl with him. The year after Harbaugh left, Kaepernick was horrible and was soon benched and out of the league. Jim Harbaugh knows how to coach. He knows how to get the best out of the players. Los Angeles Chargers should go and try to get him from Michigan. With all the problems that he had with Michigan this year, with being suspended for 3 games, it's tough to coach in college sometimes, especially nowadays where players are going from one college to another, following the millions. It's not the same college game anymore. But then again, it's easier to coach college kids. They don't have the privilege of an NFL player who is a lot harder to coach, because they have all the egos. There's less egos in the college game, so Jim Harbaugh might stay in college, or he might leave. If he does leave college, it's going to be for a ton of money. And this is the coach I think is going to go to the Los Angeles Chargers. Bill Belichick. I think he's finally run his course with the Patriots. He does not want to go out the way he has this year with the Patriots. He doesn't want to end his career that way. Belichick told reporters he was focused on Kansas City when asked about his job status this week. But if the Patriots and Belichick are indeed heading towards a split, the Chargers make a lot of sense. The hurdle with this option could be how much input Dean and John Spanos will let Belichick have on roster building. Bill's going to want total control. He's going to want the GM. He's going to want the coaching. And if I was Spanos, I probably would give it to him. Obviously, he's had proven success through the years with the Patriots. Some say it's because of Tom Brady. Some say not. He did make the playoffs without Tom Brady, and they were on the brink last year. They just had to win the last 2, and they couldn't do it. But this year has been a total disaster, and after 20-something years, I think Belichick's finally going to leave, and the Chargers should make a big play for him, and I think that's what they're going to do. Last year, I made a video. I thought they should have went after Sean Payton, firing Staley and go after Sean Payton, but they kept Staley, and Payton went to Denver, and he's doing pretty good in Denver after a rough start. So I think the Chargers should go after Belichick. And this is another name, the last one, I think they should stay away from. Former Cowboys coach Jason Garrett, currently an analyst on NBC Sports. He interviewed for the Chargers job in 2021. Garrett won 3 NFC titles in Dallas from 2010-2019. This hire would be a surprise, but Garrett would bring experience and some winning. Yes, Garrett had some success, but he did nothing in the playoffs. The Cowboys couldn't win in the playoffs. And he's just not that great of a coach. He won on talent. You know, the Chargers do have talent, but he won on talent, and I don't think the Chargers should go after him. And honestly, I don't think Garrett's going to leave the booth to go to coach again. He's making his millions as an analyst on NBC Sports with no stress. An easy job. There's no way he's going to leave the booth to go to the Chargers. So in the end, Spanos, the owner of the Chargers, had to make this move after the embarrassment of Thursday Night Football. Staley probably should have been fired last year, at the end of last year, and got a new coach for this year. The expression is better late than never. And Staley is gone. Not surprised. I did a short calling for him to be fired, and he should have been after that. And after all these years of having a great roster with so much potential for him not to do anything with it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think these options for coach is going to happen, one of these 4 options? Or do you think it'd be someone else? The Chargers should hire a well-known, successful coach. It's been proven through the years to make this team into a playoff contender every year and maybe even a shot at the Super Bowl. Let me know down below, and please subscribe and like. Thanks. See ya.